What's up, guys? It is Mitchell J, the Scaredy Cat Guide, and it has been a minute since I've done a video analysis, so I figured it was time to do a Bitcoin video and look at the price action and really point out something that I want to share. And we are hitting resistance. The 6,700, 6,750 level, I've talked about it in the past, and we are there again. So the question is, are we going to break through it or are we not? And the reason I'm concerned about it is because if we don't, we're basically forming a head and shoulders pattern, which if you don't know what that is, I'll draw it out, but essentially you'll see this little bounce move here. This is shoulder, came up, formed the head, come down, and now we're essentially forming a right shoulder. It's a little messy, but it doesn't have to be pretty and clean as long as the price action fits in to the parameters. So ideally, I'd like to see us push above 6,750, 6,800 before, basically even going below 65, but more so testing 6,250. Because if we do that, then essentially this right shoulder has formed, and based on the pattern, then the probability is prices are going lower. Basically, this 6,250 is what they call the neckline, and essentially the probability falls into us breaking that, and then that could send us back to these lows around 58, and that gives us exposure to even go lower. Even down to this 55 area is really the next area of support. So we don't want to see any of that. But let me just draw a little messy example. So essentially, there it is. So you got your shoulder, your head, your shoulder. This is an elongated one, but it still basically fits the part. So the bottom line is, let's break 6,750, get up into 6,800. Otherwise, there's a very good chance that we create a head and shoulders pattern, which is not a positive pattern. That is a bearish price pattern. So really just wanted to point that out. That's where we stand. Obviously, Bitcoin's been good about holding essentially these lows. We bounced off the 6K level. We actually did intraday spike up through into 6,800 and then immediately came back down. This was a pretty wild day right here, if you happen to be watching it intraday. So we'll see what's happened. Then we rallied up and hit the resistance, and a little pullback is completely fine. The question is, are we just hopefully gathering up some steam? Let's take a look at volume. Volume's been low, which is good. Volume was low on this down day. We're still pretty early in this candle, not even a third of the way through, so we'll see how the volume ends up, but it's looking like meager to start, and that's what I want to see. I want to see low volume on these down days, as opposed to this big volume spike we got when we had this big spike up and then sold off. So again, bottom line is, let's get essentially a close above 6,800, establish above this resistance, and not worry about creating this head and shoulders pattern, because that would be no bueno. And that's the deal. I will see you on the next one, and in the meantime, let's root for higher Bitcoin prices. The cat is out.